Good evening and welcome to this October 5th virtual meeting of the Paducah Planning and Zoning Commission. We welcome you and we ask that you join us as we say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Mr. Summer, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Benberry.
Here.
Commissioner Bradford.
Here.
Commissioner Morrison. Commissioner Pollard.
Here.
Commissioner Schramke.
Here.
Commissioner Wade.
Here.
Chair Crecilius.
Here. Mr. Bradford, you have the minutes motion for us, please.
I do. I move that the reading of the minutes for September 21, 2020 be waived and that the minutes of said meeting as prepared by staff be approved as written.
Second.
Second by Schramke. Are there any corrections, changes? Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Bradford.
Aye.
Commissioner Pollard.
Aye.
Commissioner Schramke.
Aye.
Commissioner Wade.
Aye.
Commissioner Benberry.
Aye.
Chair Crecilius.
Aye. Mr. Wade, you have the first case, which is 900 North 32nd Street.
I move that this commission remove from the table case number APP 2020-034 pertaining to 900 North 32nd Street.
Second.
Second by Pollard. This is the case concerning the sign that has been on the table for a couple of months. It's an amendment to a development plan for signage. I believe, Mr. Summer, would you like to explain what we have gotten from the developer?
Sure.
Can I suggest we go ahead and remove it from the table before we begin discussion?
Sure, that's fine. Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Wade.
Aye.
Commissioner Benberry.
Aye.
Commissioner Bradford.
Aye.
Commissioner Pollard.
Aye.
Commissioner Schramke.
Aye.
Chair Crecilius.
Aye. Now,
Thank you.
oh, no worries. Thank you, Bob. Go ahead, Josh.
We have received a new submittal for an 88 square foot sign, which will look exactly like what's there now. In the beginning, when this started, it was 104 square feet, and then it was pared down to 100. Now it's been pared down further to 88 square feet. The reader board will be removed, and the sign that's there now will be removed. The lights that on top will remain, and it will, if my understanding is correct, it will hang below the I-beams that's at the top. The petitioner's professional representatives are also on the call to help answer any additional questions that you all may have.
Are there any comments from the people representing the petition?
Some of the reservations we had on previous applications were concerning the residential neighborhood that surrounds the building. Sean Strickland has checked with all those that face the building on North 32nd Street, State Highway 731, and there were no objections there. Also mentioned were properties east of the building. They're not visible, not to the sign, not even to the building on 11th Avenue. So I don't really think that there's much of any reservations from the neighbors in the residential neighborhood. Another contention that was made was that the sign was big enough in the past. In the past, if you remember, the name of the restaurant was The Pines. That's 4 letters. You can make them pretty big on the same size sign, that you can't make it very big when it's Strickland Seafood that you're trying to make a brand for. The other thing is, it was mentioned that we're not competing with other restaurants because there's nothing else on that stretch of 731 North 32nd Street. But Strickland's is competing with other restaurants for branding. And the larger that sign's Strickland Seafood logo that he's used on everything else is, the more noticeable and recognizable it's going to be when somebody passes by. And 2 weeks later, when someone says, "Hey, let's go out to eat, where do you think?" then he can maybe remember seeing by name and branded reinforced. So that's the point that we're trying to make. And we don't think the sign is going to be any problem for the neighbors that are facing it. It's not neon, it's not LED, it's not something that's bright and glaring, anything like that. So that's what Sean and I talked about, and that's what we hope you'll consider.
Okay,
Are there any-
Kathy,
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I have a question. On the sign, is the sign as you come either way on 32nd Street, is it like sideways so that you can see it as you're approaching? Or is it flat in front of the building?
It's sideways.
Is it a two-sided sign?
Yes, and that's a very good point. And if you're coming from Jefferson, the sign is all you see until you're almost even with the building because it's growth on an empty lot. It's got trees and shrubs. So you're almost even with the building before you know the building's there. But you can see the sign a good distance back toward Jefferson.
Okay, and then the other question is, it has a light, and will there actually be two lights, one shining on each side of the sign?
There are actually, yes, and they're already in existence, and there's not many.
Well, what I'm looking at only appears to be one light. That's why I was asking.
There's
The
one on
old sign.
there's one on each side of it. There's one coming from the other direction, illuminating that side too.
Okay, thank you.
Questions, comments?
Madam Chairwoman, I'd like to make a motion to amend, and if that is approved, follow with a motion to approve. If that is all right with you.
Second.
Well, I
Second
hadn't made the
by
motion.
Benberry,
Oh, I thought you were making a motion. I'm sorry.
No, I'm making sure that she's all right with me
Oh.
making this motion.
of course.
As far as a timing. I move that this commission amend the original motion on the floor to read, I move that this commission adopt a resolution approving the amendment to a development plan for property located at 900 North 32nd Street.
Second.
Second by Bradford or Benberry?
Either one.
I couldn't tell. Sorry. Is there any other comments? This is a motion to amend. Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Wade,
Aye.
Commissioner Benberry,
Aye.
Commissioner Bradford,
Aye.
Commissioner Pollard,
Aye.
Commissioner Shramky,
Aye.
Chair Crecilius.
Aye. Now, Mr. Wade, you have another motion?
I do. I have a motion to, as it states here, I move that this commission adopt a resolution approving the amendment to the development plan for the property located at 900 North 32nd Street.
Second.
Second by Pollard. So this is a motion to approve the amended motion that he read previously. Any other comments, questions? Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Wade,
Aye.
Commissioner Benberry,
Aye.
Commissioner Bradford,
Aye.
Commissioner Pollard,
Aye.
Commissioner Shramky,
Aye.
Chair Crecilius.
Aye. Ms. Shramky, you have the Greenway Village.
I do. I move that the Planning Commission open the public hearing regarding case PLT 2020-100 for property located at 3430, 3440, 3450, 3460, 3482, and 3490 Trailhead Drive, and 200, 210, 215, 220, 225, 230, 235, 240, 250, and 260 Trail Loop, and 148, 152, and 154 County Park Road. I further move that the preliminary subdivision plat of Phase 3 of Greenway Village, as described above, be continued generally.
Second.
Second by Pollard.
Staff is requesting that this and the following agenda item be tabled at this time generally. For this particular item, there are some roadway connections that need to be worked out between the city engineer's office and the petitioner. We have Mr. Goins on the call as well to provide any additional information that you all may need.
I was going to have questions about the connections of the street for Trailhead Drive, as well as the whatever that spur street to the south would be. And then also the in track D, the front and back setback lines, what those distances were going to be. I don't know if he wants to address those now or wait until later.
Some of those are pretty simple. The track D, the front setback lines on all parcels will be 20 feet is what we're requesting and proposing, just to kind of match up with what was done on phase 2 of this development.
Do you still have to work out that connector to County Park Road?
So currently, the road you see there, which represented by the dashed lines, that's the curb and gutter. That is a private road, and the developer is requesting through the engineering department that the city take over responsibility and maintenance of that road. And I believe the way I understand it, the developer's waiting on a written response from Rick Murphy regarding some, I guess you could say, some contingencies or requirements that the city would be favorable in doing that as long as certain requirements are met. So we're waiting on that written response currently from Rick Murphy. And then the developer, hopefully those requirements will not be too stringent and the developer will be happy with that and we can move forward. But the way I understand it, if the city does not if that road were to remain private, then I'm not sure he even wants to continue with the development, is the way I understand it.
These would all be condominiums, is that correct?
Be a mix of apartment buildings, exactly like have been built on phase 2, and then there'll be a portion on track A, and track B will consist of condos, which would be the same floor plan and same build that's going on in phase 2 as well. So it'll be a mixture.
Okay, when I looked at the plat, and correct me if I'm wrong, I thought I saw that they were all listed as condos. That's the reason why I asked the question, was because I thought that I had read that part of them would be apartments and part of them would be condos.
No, I thought the one you have in front of you should list the apartments, but I may be wrong. It may have been a comment that the plan I'm looking at may have been corrected, but what I'm showing is track A and B are condos.
There are some, I'm sorry, you're correct. There are some proposed apartments.
Okay. That answer your questions on the roadways, Mr. Wade?
Bob, you're muted.
I couldn't tell that it was 20 feet on, there's no marking, so by your verbal response, that does answer the question.
Are there any more comments?
Question I have is this a public hearing currently for this initial?
This is currently a public hearing, but it will be continued.
So how does that work? as far as notifying the public? Will there be other notices mailed out again, just like before?
Josh,
What I'll do, because it's a different Zoom meeting link for the next meeting, those same adjacent property owners will get the new hearing notice with the new link.
Gotcha.
are there any other questions, comments?
I have a question for Josh as far as getting some of these revisions cleaned up and resubmitting. Do we have to have that done by a certain submittal deadline, just like always, or the fact that this it's being tabled, do we have to still meet those submittal deadlines?
Not necessarily, but we do have to have ample time to review and send out to the commission. The mailing date for the 19th would at least be by the 14th, which is 9 days.
Well, hopefully we can have all our items addressed. Hopefully we'll have a response from Rick by then.
Thank you. Are there any other comments, questions? Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Shramky,
Aye.
Commissioner Wade,
Aye.
Commissioner Benberry,
Aye.
Commissioner Bradford,
Aye.
Commissioner Pollard,
Aye.
Chair Casillas.
Aye. Ms. Pollard, do you have the 4500 Buckner Lane, our
Yes, ma'am.
final item of business?
I move that the Planning Commission open the public hearing regarding case PLT 2020-101 for property located at 4500 Buckner Lane. I further move that the preliminary subdivision plat of the townhome development as described be continued generally.
Second.
Second by Wade.
Staff had some comments on this proposed development as well. Additionally, for this one, stormwater detention must be shown on the plat. And then the arrangement of some of the lots as far as backyards being in front yards and kind of that juxtaposition area should be looked at. Jason can answer any further questions on that as well.
Josh, I have a question for you. Is the planning staff aware that that neighboring property of the City of Paducah was bequeathed to the city to be used as a trailhead for the Greenway Trail eventually?
I was not aware of that. I also thought that that property had been put in kind of a conservancy. I could be wrong about that, but that's what I had heard about it.
I do know that it's the Boyles property and it does have some strings attached to it.
I just know that the Parks Director said that he told me that he was aware that that was left to the city for that purpose. So maybe the city might want to get with the developer about getting an easement to access that property for that purpose.
Yeah, the developer's aware that the city owns it, and the records that we find do show it. It has been transferred over. We actually got the will book reference there on the plat. So you're saying like along the roadway we're showing, whereas the city may want to use that as an access point as well, and rather than a separate entrance off of Buckner. Is that what you mean?
I don't know. I think the city should probably discuss it with the developer to make sure that the city's purpose for that property is protected.
Good point.
Are there any other comments or questions at this point? Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Pollard,
Aye.
Commissioner Shramky,
Aye.
Commissioner Wade,
Aye.
Commissioner Benberry,
Aye.
Commissioner Bradford,
Aye.
Chair Crecilius.
Aye. If there is no other business to come before the commission tonight, we stand adjourned at 5:55. Our next meeting is October the 19th. It will also be virtual. If you have any questions or would like a link, please contact Josh Summers at the City of Paducah in the Planning Department. Thank you all very much for being here.
Have a
Bye.
good night.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Aye.